Rec Board, John.
Okay. She met on Friday, and we went through quite a bit of information, and I think we've come up with a plan that Mike, I don't know if you had an opportunity to talk to Ron yet, but to get Brian Gregg kind of up to code based on the audit and what the findings were, and trying to get that good to go in the short-term, near future. I guess the question now is, with the emails we received this afternoon, the Linton Parks situation has changed, and I guess we can re-break it down into a couple areas. I think Mike and I on Friday discussed and agreed that probably the first and primary thing we need to do is remove the equipment that's out of compliance. Would you say that's probably the first
correct.
step for us here?
Yep.
Regardless of the events of today with the email and the options that we now have in front of us, I think the first thing that we probably need to review, and I think we put in each of your mailboxes some of the costs that are involved, but first and foremost, the swing set, the small tire, the seesaw, and the play structure at Linton Park need to be removed, and I think the cost on that was fairly reasonable. We got a vendor to take the equipment out for about $600, and then a trash or dumpster option for totaling around $1,000 for the whole thing to be taken care of. So we can talk about that and discuss that and vote on that tonight. And then the next step would be what our new options are based on, I guess, whether we have to put this out to bid, and if we do, it changes a lot of things for the future from a budget standpoint and from a turnaround on installing some of this equipment. So that's what I have so far. I don't know if, Mike, you want to kind of add in.
I think you covered it, John. The council has I think there were two estimates which involved removal and disposal. And John, are you including the swing swing replacement also on items to be authorized tonight?
No, actually, what I would recommend tonight for the first section would be the Brian Gregg, which would be the one invoice you had for the arch climber, which I know, Gerard, you had sent an email out about someone looking to possibly to donate that. We have the cost on that. The question would be getting it installed. We'd have to have the manufacturer's rep or installer come out and install that. And then the second piece on that park would be one swing, which is fairly minimal. It's $27 to replace the actual seat itself on the swing set, and then everything else that Ron would take care of is basically a punch list of screws, nuts, bolts. So we really could get that park completed with response to the audit fairly quickly. So those would be the two purchases tonight, which would be the arch climber and the one swing for Brian Gregg Park. The other park now, with the solicitor's, I guess, opinion, I don't know if everyone had an opportunity to read the email, but it looks like our scenario of purchasing the play structure, purchasing the play structure and then removing the existing structure, waiting till the spring to put it in, with the idea that we would then possibly look to replace the swings, is not an option because of the cost that would have to go out to bid. The one option I did get tonight, which I had been waiting for, is for a play structure to go into Peaceable Kingdom, which comes in under that $10,000 total installed, which may be an option, but it's not. It's a piece of equipment that you guys have not seen yet, so I'd rather have you look at that. We're not obligated by time like we are with the other quote that we had for the savings, so that is a possibility. But I think right now what we need to do is address the equipment that's there, remove it, and then kind of come up with a game plan going forward of what we can do to replace the equipment. And this new scenario may be an option for us to do in the same time frame that we had planned on doing, and then address the swings either the following year, however that may work, depending on the budget and how council sees to kind of replace it. I don't know if there's any questions, some of the information I provided. I know we've been discussing it for a couple meetings now and kind of changing and taking your suggestions, which I appreciate, and trying to make this work. But again, Brian Gregg should be pretty easy and pretty straightforward. I think, Mike, we have a pretty good plan for that.
If you want to make that motion, John, I'll be happy to second it. We'll get that one out of the way.
So we'll make the first motion. I'd like to make a motion to authorize, I guess would be the term, the purchase of one arch climber ladder, replacing the existing ladder at Brian Gregg Park on the play structure that was identified as being damaged and needed replaced, for the cost totaling, including freight, of $294.
You have to add installation on there?
I do not have the cost of installation, because it was a question of if Ron was authorized or could do that, and it doesn't look like he can. And then, in addition, the authorization of a purchase of one black seat for the swings at $27 to meet the requirements of the audit that needs consistent types of swings on one swing structure. And that would, in fact, cover the Brian Gregg Park for the purchase of those two items.
So I think we might have to break that down because they're from two different
Vendors.
vendors. We have to do these individually. I mean, the $27 thing, do we even have to authorize that? Because that's well under, what's the cutoff? If it was like $100 or something? $200?
$200.
So we don't even really need to authorize the expenditure. Yeah, so we
Okay,
don't need
so
to
it's
worry
just the
about
one.
the swing. But the other one, do we have to, this is from Boyce Associates or through Boyce Associates?
Yes, yeah.
We have to make our motion more specific to authorize purchase from that particular vendor?
Again, it should be specific enough that it's clear from the motion. I mean, if you want to include a number of different items in one motion, as long as it's broken down as to what you're doing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, whether it's one motion or two motions doesn't really make a difference.
Okay.
I thought it might benefit to have one motion only because it kind of captures in the one council action the steps being taken for purchase and the other work, as John just moved it. So that's why I thought it might be a good idea, notwithstanding it isn't necessary as such.
Okay, so we have a motion to purchase the climber. We don't know what the installation cost is.
Correct.
So we have to, do we have to wait for that? So the installation cost might be a couple $100. We don't know what we're authorizing.
Right, well, this would just be for the purchase of, and then, I guess, Mike, we talked about having Ron looking at, but it doesn't look like he can do that. And I guess our options, what we discussed, we're kind of in a bind here, having a vendor come all the way out here to put this ladder in. Financially is probably not the most prudent or best way to go.
Right. Well, I think it's a piece, as John said, that fits. It's a piece we need, so it's taking one step to getting it in, and we'll see what we have to do. Ron's probably not the one to do it, but we'll find the right person. If it's something that requires authorization for expenditure, we'll come back, but if it doesn't, we won't.
Oh, so you want to buy the piece of equipment and then
Correct.
look into installing it later? Okay,
Correct.
I thought
Am I
maybe this
correct?
purchase was the whole,
No.
all right. So we're going to buy it.
We're trying to address each of these on the so-called checklist of the audit
Yeah.
and kind of get them ready.
Okay, and then at a later time, if we need to authorize the installation, then we need to authorize the
Right.
installation.
Right. If it financially, it may not.
It may not, right.
All right. So we need a second on the motion?
I think I thought I
Did you
did. I'm
second?
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Did I, Marcia?
I didn't hear
Then
a
I
second
second
either,
it.
no. Okay.
I was
All right.
going to.
It was in his thoughts, okay. All right.